What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of The Final Circle. It is showtime, showtime. It is showtime one more time. And today's episode, what are we talking about? Well, it's 5 esports myths that you probably believe. Yeah. I mean, the world of esports, a lot of things can come across your desk, or rather come across your table. And instead of fact checking, you just believe it straight up. But this time, I'm here to break some of those myths that you may believe. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, myth number 1, more hours equals better player. Yeah, I've heard that one a lot actually. But some players think that if they play 12 hours a day, they'll magically become a pro. Wrong. All you're doing is speed running, carpal tunnel, for real. Especially, your thumbs. Your thumbs are gonna get cooked. And a quick reality check is what matters is quality practice. Reviewing your gameplay, training specific skills, learning strategies. That's what I believe. But then again, something else that I've heard before is 10,000 hours. Once you put 10,000 hours into anything that you practice or anything that you preach, you tend to learn it. But what you tend to learn is the mechanics of that thing. It does not necessarily make you better at it all the time. It's more about, like I said, quality practice. It's more about the quality and what you put into that effort. It is just one of those weird myths that nobody actually just locks into. Myth number 2, ping is the only reason I lose. Ping. Every lobby has that guy. My ping is 120. My ping is 400. That's why I died. Now, fam. You ran to a squad 1v4 with no cover. Ping did not make you do that. And also another thing, teams or certain players, they just go out into the open, start looting airdrops, or playing some kind of solo games, and then they get punished for it, and they're like, guy, my MS, blame it on the MS. Come on, man, it's big 2025. We can't be using MS as an excuse anymore, for real. But not to take it away though, in the reality, yes, ping matters, but decision making and positioning matters more, because again, it's all about the decisions you make that lead you to that point where your ping now starts to play a role. So if your ping is bad, you're gonna know from the beginning of the game. No matter what game it is, you're gonna know. Except it's a one-off situation where your ping kind of like goes crazy. But then imagine your ping going crazy at the exact moment you decide to wander off from your teammates or something like that. What are the odds of that happening to you specifically? Yeah, ping, bro. My MS, bro. Microsoft, no. So myth number 3, gyro players are unbeatable. Yeah, I've seen this before. Like, everybody's using gyro at this stage. I think personally, if you want to be better, you just gotta use gyro. I think it just adds a little bit to the game, but not in the extent that it doesn't make the playing field even or something. It's pretty open to everyone. But yeah, I believe some devices have better gyro than others, I'm not gonna lie. But gyroscope is amazing though. If you know how to use it, that's the real truth, if you know how to use it. But that's just the reality of it though. Gyro players, yeah, they have a little bit towards the game, but it doesn't necessarily level up the game in a way that you can't match up. No, I personally don't believe that. That is a myth, and we are debunking that. Myth number 4, only iPad players can be pros. Again, that's another classic. People think it's the big screen equals instant skill. Nah, if that was true, everybody with a tablet would be playing PMGC. Not gonna lie, man. Like, I personally don't believe that. We've seen how skilled players play on their phone, so I don't think a bigger screen gives you that much advantage at the competitive level, if I'm being honest. But some people would like to take that with a grain of salt, but me personally, nah, I don't believe that. I think that tournaments are mobile only, and most pros train on phones. It's all about mechanics and brains, not necessarily your device's screen size. So if you're good, you're good. IQ and skill beats device every single time. Then the last myth that we're going to debunk is coaches don't matter. That's a lie. That is a big lie. Players love saying that. Why do teams even need a coach? They just sit there. Wrong. Nah, coaches fix your strategy, they help with discipline, and they stop squads from turning scrims into WWE. That is just the reality of it. Behind every consistent team, there is a coach who sees the game differently. I myself, I am a coach, so there's a lot of iterations I've seen in certain gameplays, in certain modes, in certain play zones that allows me to see the game from a different perspective, and then I can imbue that perspective onto the members of the team or whatever team I'm coaching at the time. So yeah, coaches are really, really important. I mean, in football, you tell. Football is the easiest example because it's coach versus coach. My coach's tactics versus this coach's tactics. Whoever is going to be the better coach usually ends up winning. So there you have it. Esports myths busted. Which one do you hear most in your lobbies though? Drop it in the comments. And if it's my teammates always sell, that's not a myth, that's just facts. So see you guys in the next episode of Final Circle. Peace.